KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adahi Itanu program. Cars Plus reminds you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads Up Guam, IP&E, Fueling Excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And steaks, ribs, seafood, and our famous fresh garden bar, Ruby Tuesday. Good times you can taste.
Coming right up on prime time, community activist organizations wish to sit at the table with the governor to discuss the destruction of sites. Chris Barnett has the very latest. Plus, Revenue Tax and the Department of Public Works present their budget requests to island lawmakers. And sisters from the island of Pagan are on Guam, advocating against the military's plans for a live fire training range. Tomas Manglotnia has full details. Half a day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and streaming us. Good evening. I'm Jason Salas. Well, no fewer than 21 community and activist groups have sent a letter to Adelup calling for FaceTime with Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and asking her to push for a halt on military buildup construction. Our Chris Barnett has tonight's top story.
A letter from almost 24 activists and community groups fired off to the Magahaga asking for a meeting to address what the groups say is the military's destruction of Chamorro historical and cultural properties. The letter calling for a sit-down with the governor and for her to help push the military to halt construction of the live fire training range and the Marine base site in Finagazan. Pertay Lategzen's Marie Hernandez.
We want to make sure that the military is being held accountable, and our Magahaga is somebody that we feel needs to take that strong stand and fight for preserving what little we have left.
The letter signed by Pertay Lategzen, Independent Guahan, Fuetsan Famalaoan, Nacion Chamorro, Hadza Foundation, Nihi, Pagan Watch, the Peace for Okinawa Coalition, and many others. The letter echoes calls from Senators Therese Terlahi and Sabina Perez to Governor Leon Guerrero to push for a pause on construction at the two largest build-up related projects. The military has discovered 4 new ancient sites on built-up property in the last month. Releases from the Marines call the discoveries significant, and one of those sites has already been cleared, according to State Historic Preservation Officer Linda Uggan. This prompted her to tell the military to leave artifacts in place, and she has not approved a work order for the removal of these latest artifacts.
Anything having to do with our ancestral remains, whether it be lithics or anything, that they left behind as a mark of their settlement there, is significant to us, significant to our history.
Hernandez says although Pertay Lategzen endorsed Lou and Josh in the 2018 general election, the group has not sat down with the Magahaga to share their concerns.
Concerns are only getting stronger as more of these sites and artifacts are found. I feel like if we have our Magahaga behind us, that we will be able to make strides that we weren't able to in the past.
The letter reads, in a rush to level our native limestone forests, the military has knowingly destroyed artifacts and natural resources that belong to the people of Guam. It further reads, adverse impacts are avoidable with a halt to construction. Hernandez says the 20-plus groups who signed the letter will attend the meeting if it's granted. She says the governor has a good working relationship with the military, and this could lay the groundwork for a change in the way ancient sites and the artifacts in them are treated.
Have some sort of discussions with the military that might be able to influence how they move forward.
Hernandez says Legislative Resolution 228, which passed with 13 votes in the 34th Guam legislature, called for a pause on construction on the firing range.
It passed, and yet they still continued with construction, so it's definitely disheartening.
A week ago, KUAM News asked the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration for comment on the military's discovery of ancient sites and their treatment of artifacts at those sites. We have yet to receive any comment from Adelup. While senators and activist groups are calling for the Magahaga to halt construction, Shippo Uggan, who says she has a meeting with the governor Thursday, tells KUAM News she doesn't think it will be that easy.
And the Admiral may not like me saying that, but I was told it cannot be stopped.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
All right, Chris. Well, another news tonight. Sisters from and daughters of the northern island of Pagan are on Guam with a mission. They're advocating against the military's plan to use the islands as a live fire and bomb training grounds and hope more Chamorros and other people resettle the island. Tomas Manglotnia reports on their historic visit.
I kind of look at this as them striking a match here in Guam. and then the fire runs up to Tinian, where they're going to increase the training.
Cinta Matagolay Kaipat and Cecilia Kaipat Salapeo are sisters trying to prevent what they describe as the military's fire and fury spreading through the islands. Their daughters born in the northern islands and on a mission to preserve their homeland. They're on the island to be featured on the educational TV show Nihi, explaining their efforts in the region. Cecilia was born on Pagan in 1970 and is one of some 100 registered voters and residents of Pagan.
It always reminds me of what my master navigator Cecilia will always say, and that is, in navigating, you just don't look forward, you have to look back. So I incorporate that, and I am beginning to look back to see what's behind me, so that I can, go back and see if I can do something to improve what we had.
She visits the island every year for a few months since the early 2000s. She and her sister, who was born in Agrigan and raised on Pagan, are longtime advocates of resisting military buildup and life training in the islands. Their message, stop bombing and training on the island with the hope of resettlement. The Navy's proposal for a $66 million lease of Pagan also includes that every year, Tinian and Pagan would fall victim to 95,000 high explosives, including bombs weighing up to 2,000 pounds. They continue to fight the developments through umbrella organizations represented by Earth Justice, and they say they aren't anti-military.
It's incorrect to say that we are unpatriotic.
She says that there are alternative training sites such as Australia and other allies that can assist in preparing forces. And with a long history of relatives serving in the military, they understand the cost of battle. With the Guam buildup in the works, the Department of Defense, Commonwealth Ports Authority, and NMI government in May signed a 40-year lease worth nearly $22 million for a divert airfield in Tinian. There are preliminary talks about re-establishing an airport in Pagan, and they say that NMI Governor Ralph Torres expressed support for the agricultural homestead program to bring more people back to Pagan. Residents there were evacuated in the 1980s due to volcanic eruption.
I want to go back, and I want to bring back our culture. Go back, teach our children how to fish, teach our children how to hunt. We have wild pigs, wild goats, wild cows up there.
Ultimately, they want the region to know that everyone has a stake.
Guaiza ho, guaiza tanumu, guaiza nahogu tanu.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tomas Manglotnya.
In budgetary news, the government's main money collection agency appeared before senators for a budget hearing as Reventax presented a nearly $15 million spending plan for fiscal year 2020, which is $3.3 million more than this year. Nestor Lecanto has our next report.
DRT is asking for the budget increase to pay for a $2 million real property reevaluation that's required every 5 years and $300,000 for an in-house tax attorney. What they aren't asking for is an increase in positions, but rather approval to fill already budgeted vacancies. Director Daphne Shimizu.
There are, positions in different areas, whether it's, at the staff level for investigators or for revenue agents or revenue officers, but there are also these higher level positions which have been vacant even prior to us, coming on board.
It was the second time in as many weeks that Shimizu and her staff were on the hot seat, and they were again asked about what Senator Sabina Perez called leaks in collections.
That's why I'm focusing on tobacco stamps. I'm focusing on Airbnbs because these laws already exist. There's already processes involved, and it's just a matter of strengthening those processes. It's my hope that the budget, that you guys submit a supplemental budget to address these concerns, because right now I feel that what we have right now is not sufficient to address the concerns.
Another concern was the 40% increase in rent that Shimizu said last week forced cuts in other key spending, prompting several senators and even Shimizu to wonder out loud, maybe it's time to stop renting.
We talked about, opportunities for, maybe even looking at a new space or a new building, and I think that that's been discussed even in prior legislatures, the possibility of having our agency have its own building and not having to rent.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Public Works also presented its budget request to senators today, with the agency seeking over $20 million for fiscal 2020, about $800,000 more than the current year. One of the top concerns raised by senators was over school bus operations, with DPW requesting authorization for 143 bus driver positions for the upcoming year an increase of 7 over the current year, but still less than the optimal amount. Agency Director Vince Ariola was asked by Senator Will Castro about hiring part-time, peak-time drivers.
At this point, Senator, we're looking at anything and everything. Because right now we're running up to sometimes 3 routes for a given school. And that's just unacceptable. We can't do that to the school kids. I know for a fact some school kids are leaving the school at as late as 4 p.m. That's way too late.
DPW says ideally it needs about 189 drivers and as many operational buses to ensure all school routes can be efficiently covered. Staying with the legislature, Speaker Tina Rose Munya-Barnes asked congressional leaders to support Congressman Michael San Nicolas's bill to expedite the release of war claims funding. She released copies to letters to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, and Oversight Chairman Raul Grijalva, seeking action on the measure to correct a technical flaw in the law by former Delegate Madeline Bordallo preventing the Treasury Department from releasing the funds. The money will come from so-called Section 30 money. That's the taxes collected from federal employees here, rebated to GovGuam. Barnes also announced she has drafted local legislation to create a separate local fund from the Section 30 rebates. Copies of the draft have not been released as of this time. In crime news this evening, the alleged sexual abuse started when she was a little girl, but now that she's older, she found the courage to speak out. 29-year-old Tyson Benavidez Usana allegedly started sexually molested a victim when she was 8 years old. She's now 16. Court documents state during one of the latest incidents that occurred in April, she was able to fight him off. And a complaint was filed on Monday with Usana facing charges of first, second, and fourth degree criminal sexual conduct. Elsewhere, a 19-year-old woman came forward alleging she was sexually molested multiple times by David James Paco Cruz. The alleged abuse started when she was 12 and Cruz is now 38 years old. Court documents state that Cruz first allegedly sexually abused the victim in a hotel room. She was asleep to find him sexually abusing her. In every incident, the documents state he pinned her down and forced himself on her and told her not to tell anyone or that she would pay for it. Cruz was charged with first and third degree criminal sexual conduct. Also tonight, 31-year-old Edson Karaman Harper was arrested accused of physically assaulting a woman multiple times. In one of the alleged incidents that occurred over the weekend, Harper became so angry he punched her, kicked her on the head, back, and stomach multiple times. The victim had allegedly filed a criminal complaint against him in the past. And in other news this evening, the family of Geneva Bosco, the former Miss Guam World 2012, is asking for the community's help to find her. According to a family member, she was last seen in Tuman around 2 to 3 o'clock this morning. Now, because it has not been 24 hours, they are unable to file a police report until later on tonight. For now, they're hoping if you have any information on her whereabouts, please contact her at the number provided. You can go to our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitter feeds. It's been shared dozens of times, and we hope you will continue to do so. Geneva's family thanks you for your assistance. Well, please stay tuned. More is coming up after this.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
The next generation Galaxy has arrived. See it and believe it. The Infinity O display is the most innovative Galaxy screen yet. Capture the wider world. Take stunning photos with a 123-degree field of vision. Use your phone to charge other wireless charging devices. Don't just stand out, stand apart.
Matson is in this community. We've been in this community for decades. We're going to be in this community for decades to come. Things will get busy, things will get quiet, but we're going to be here. We're your hometown carrier. And that matters to us.
Reliability is the core of our business. We take pride in ensuring that we arrive in Guam on time as scheduled.
It's our local employees who understand the market, who understand the business, and provide that hard work for you each and every day.
When we hold ourselves to high standards, our customers also hold us to high standards. We establish good business relationships that turn into friendships. That's why it's so important to be here and be trusted by your customers. We want you to trust Matson like your friend, like your family.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
Ah, the Netherlands, home of the Stroopwafel McFlurry from McDonald's. A mix of delicious vanilla soft serve and caramel waffle cookie pieces. But to get one, you'd have to sneak out of the office, dig out your luggage, wait for boarding group 12, figure out what that means, take a train, take a boat, take a bike, and finally order one. Or get to your neighborhood McDonald's now, because for a limited time, worldwide favorites are here. Around the world is now around the corner.
The new Hagåtña Revitalization and Redevelopment Authority's board meeting earlier this afternoon is now an informational meeting after the public notice did not meet a deadline for an official meeting to take place, according to Agency Director Lassie Casil. And as our Tomas Manglona now reports, Adelup is wanting feedback on the plan, and quick.
The pressure is on for the HRRA as a new director from Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio requests for agency input regarding the Hagåtña Master Plan by next month. HRRA Oversight Chair, Senator Kelly Marsh-Tachino.
They're asking for an assessment by all of their agencies about where they are at in their technical review of the master plan and the design guideline.
The new directive comes as Casil remains the only active staff overseeing the large operation, expected to cost $20 million. Senator Marsh-Tachino says she wants to take extra caution.
I personally take it on as a mission for the Hagåtña Restoration and Redevelopment Authority to be completely transparent and engaging with the people of Guam. Our resources are, you're looking at it. We have one staffer, Joe Santos, who I met briefly when I first started. He was off island, and when he came back, he fell ill, and for the past 3 months, he's been not here, absent. And, you know, he held all the institutional knowledge. He was the only person working on this project prior to me coming on.
Casil notes that she will do her best to engage all stakeholders, and a new board with Mayor John Cruz and Greg Perez being the only members from the previous board. Tonight's meeting is the first time the new board will convene. The official board meeting is slated to take place after comments are gathered after the July 15th deadline. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tomas Manglona.
Tomas also adds that Senator Marsh-Tachino plans on holding a roundtable information briefing this Thursday on the Hagåtña Master Plan. That's 1 p.m. at the Congress Building. Well, the Guam Public Library System Summer Reading Program is well underway, with this year's theme being a universe of stories. Children as old as 17 years are afforded the opportunity to have fun reading and participate in activities, igniting their imagination and fostering learning. The system invites all families to register and take part in the free initiative, only offering during the summer months while school's out. Late registration is being accepted, and the program concludes in mid-July. For more information, contact Linda Uggan. Go to KUAM.com to find their number. Well, Guam's very own Inetnun Gefpago organization is representing our island proudly in Europe over the summer, participating in the Festival Roche del Molière in France, the San Ghislain Festival in Belgium, Festival Lent in Maribor, Slovenia, and Karlova in Croatia. The group is sharing the Chamorro culture through song and dance, with at the end of the European trip, they will be making a stop in Helhui. Well, we've got big news for all you lovers of awesome on-demand audio programming. The KUAM Podcast Network is now available, there you see it, on Spotify. Just simply follow our feed on Spotify for mobile or on the World Wide Web and get all of our latest shows when we publish them available immediately, or KISS. When you're in line at the bank, driving on the road, working out, stuck in the office, or in class, we've got lots of content for you to all enjoy. And you can still subscribe to the KUAM Podcast Network through traditional means in Apple Podcasts, on SoundCloud, and in high-definition video on YouTube. So please enjoy and keep sending us your feedback. We hope you do enjoy it. And please stay tuned because we are back after this.
When it comes to power and performance, nothing compares to Dodge. And right now at Cars Plus in Mighty, you can save thousands on many Dodge vehicles in stock during our Dodge Performance Days. Like a new 2019 Grand Caravan SE, save $4,250, or save $6,150 on a new Durango SXT. Looking for more power? Take home a new Charger SXT Plus today for only $37,689, or save over $7,000 on a new Challenger GT. Get more power and performance at Cars Plus in Mighty during Dodge Performance Days. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Agent Alpha.
What's that? An Alpha Insurance customer needs a claim settled immediately? I'm on it.
Agent Alpha.
In the event of an accident, theft, or breakdown, each of our Alpha Insure agents are trained to go above and beyond.
This is my stop. There she is. Target acquired.
Agent Alpha.
Yes!
Nacho Fries Chasing Gold strikes all the right chords. Powerful, gripping, delicious, says the Hollywood Reporter. Critics can't get enough of Nacho Fries. And if you can't either, get Nacho Fries at Taco Bell today.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. I have some powerlifting news on local competitor Desiree EA to get to in just a bit. But first off, women's football from the UOG field between the Sindalu Raiders and Stunners. Check it out. The 2019 Bud Light Guam Women's Tackle Football League title will be up for grabs this Saturday at the UOG field. Seven-time defending champions Team Legacy will be meeting the Stunners in the championship game set for 2 in the afternoon. This is a rematch of last season's title game. Team Legacy advanced to the big game after beating the Steel Blazing Saints 24-0. The Stunners get their shot at redemption after beating the Sindalu Raiders 18-6. Legacy came from behind to defeat the Stunners in their first meeting this season. Legacy would take the second matchup in convincing fashion. The Steel Blazing Saints and Sindalu Raiders will kick off Saturday's season finale in the consolation game scheduled for 11 in the morning, followed by the title game between Legacy and the Stunners. Desiree EA will be using the Ironville Classic Powerlifting Championships as a qualifier for 2 bigger shows scheduled for later this year. The competition will be held in Missouri this Saturday.
Oh gosh, going in, I'm nervous, but I'm nervous leading up to every single competition that I do. But I feel pretty good about my lifts this time around. Like I said, this is going to be a qualifier for bigger meets that are coming up. So I'm still going to do, my absolute best, but I'm probably going to end up PRing on my bench, my deadlift. Not so sure about my squat, but we'll see.
She stumbled across the event and decided to register for the meet because she will be in the area visiting family.
In order for you to qualify for certain events, you have to get a specific total or better than the required total. So the 2 big meets that I'm gonna compete at, or aiming to compete at, requires, I believe, a master total. So there are different levels of totals. Right now I'm at the highest total, and I plan to keep it that way.
Des leaves Island tomorrow and is ready to hit the platform after being out of competition mode for the last several months.
The past 2 weeks, my body has just felt like really beat up, but coach says that's a good place to be. So really it's just rest and recovery and keeping my body mobile and making sure I stay free of injury.
Good luck to the Haganeni volleyball team who left Island this morning to compete in the 11th annual SCVA Summer Soiree in Anaheim, California. The U16 squad consists of players Michaela Connolly, Angeline Del Carmen, Zoe Green, Ostia Mendiola, Corey Nicole Paulino, Nicolette Perez, Faith Piper, Gabrielle Piper, Manami Rabago, and Tylee Shepard.
Check out Triple J's spectacular deals going on now during the hot summer savings event. 0 down and no payments for 90 days. Get into a Kia Sportage or Mazda CX-5 at only $21,995 or $168 per paycheck. The big boy truck, the Ford F-150, starting at $229 per paycheck, or the Honda Civic starting at only $166 per paycheck. Triple J says yes. Purchase your next vehicle online at triplejguam.com today. Triple J, customers first.
Hafade na anho si Judy Flores, Tauto Inalahan. I came here in 1957 when I was a child. My parents were hired as contract teachers, and I was immersed in the village life. I learned to speak Chamorro because everyone spoke Chamorro then. We do have more than just sun, sand, and shopping. We have a spirit here that people can definitely feel. The Hafade spirit embodies the history, the culture, the language. Food is also a very important part of the culture. You offer food. That's the package altogether. The Hafade spirit is how the people welcome a visitor, a stranger, and make them feel at home. And I've always felt that, especially in Inalahan, and I believe that the Hafade Pledge is creating that throughout the island.
The phone you want now on the best network and a plan that gives you endless data on chat, social, and music apps. Tell your Docomo Pacific rep you want now with access. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
Now there's a technology that's lighting the way to a new mortgage for people all across Guam. Introducing Simplify Mortgage by Bank of Hawaii, Hawaii's leading lender. Simplify Mortgage by Bank of Hawaii lets you apply for a home loan anytime from any device, making the mortgage and refi process faster and easier. Or work hand in hand with one of our residential loan experts. So put the power of choice and control in your hands. Simplify Mortgage by Bank of Hawaii. Welcome to tomorrow.
We've got some birthdays to get to. Here are tonight's birthday shoutouts. If you're in a great mood today, and we certainly hope that you are, let's say happy birthday to Ezra with lots of love from Grandma Ree, Mom, Dad, brothers Kian and Tegan, your Ninas and Ninos, and your familia on Guam and abroad. Happy birthday, Ezra. And happy birthday also to Noe Alexis and Nova Alex Lingao Caston. Happy 5th birthday to the twins coming from Uncle Mervin, Auntie Nora, Uncle John Hook, Papa and the cousins, John Jr. and Darius Santos. We love you and miss you, they say. Happy birthday. All right, and if you want to register, just go to KUAM.com and do so, and stay tuned because we are back right after this.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world. Health, home, and lifestyle. Presented by Paradise Fitness Center, changing lives since 1996.
Hello and hafa day, everybody. Jason Salas here, and we hope you're feeling good because that is the purpose of the show, to make sure that you are living a healthy and happy island lifestyle. My good buddy Nurse Jen Artero is up first, and she has perspectives on how you can maintain your health. It's Health Check.
Health Check with Nurse Jen is presented by Island Cancer Center.
Hafa day, I'm Nurse Jen, and it's time for your Health Check. Alcohol and marijuana are the two most commonly used intoxicants throughout the U.S. and also right here on Guam. According to Scientific American Journal, people who use both are twice as likely to use them simultaneously rather than on its own. Hence the inception of crossfading, an overindulgence of marijuana and alcohol. In a nutshell, crossfaded is being both high and drunk at the same time. Not a good idea. The controversy surrounding both short-term and long-term effects of combining alcohol and marijuana is scientifically backed by numerous studies and alarming statistics. It goes without saying that if you combine two substances that have opposite effects on the body, you're bound to get some unpleasant and risky side effects. Alcohol is a well-known depressant on the central nervous system that has a direct impact on a person's walking, talking, communication with slurred speech, and wobbly, unsteady gait. On the other hand, marijuana directly affects the brain itself because it's a psychoactive, mood-altering drug that leads to cognitive effects such as paranoia, anxiety, panic, and sometimes visual delusions. According to a recent study done at Duke University, combining alcohol and marijuana actually increases the amount of THC in the bloodstream, almost by double when compared to those who only smoked pot. The signs to look out for if you suspect an individual is crossfaded includes severe disorientation, the person's just completely out of it, extreme anxiety, paranoia, panic, shortness of breath, sweating, and dizziness. When an individual displays cross-faded symptoms, they are at a greater risk of serious injury because both cognitive and physical abilities are affected. So how will you help a person exhibiting cross-faded symptoms? First, remain calm. Try to put the person in a dark, quiet, and relaxing environment where they feel safe, preferably indoors. If possible, encourage the person to drink water and eat food. Discourage continued use of alcohol or marijuana for the rest of the day. But if the person is unresponsive, just completely out of it, then it's time to go to the urgent care or the ER and get evaluated by a medical professional. Both booze and pot consumption can cause orthostatic hypotension. That means low blood pressure, because the THC and alcohol is absorbed, causing the blood vessels to dilate, and unexpectedly the blood pressure just suddenly drops. A decreased blood flow to the brain can lead to fainting or passing out. It's unpredictable and occurs without warning. Email me topics that you're interested in at nursejen@kuam.com. Esta, till next week, same place, same channel. I'm Jen Artero, registered nurse, reminding you, don't wreck yourself, health check yourself.
Health Check with Nurse Jen is presented by Island Cancer Center.
All right, thanks so much, Nurse Jen, and thanks to our own Pete Anderson for that very fine graphics work on that story. That cat picture, though. I would love to see your browser history, Pete. All right, stay tuned. There's much more coming up after this.
At Island Cancer Center, we treat our patients and their families like our family. We have all been touched by cancer, and it is important to feel comfortable and secure under the care of our health professionals. You can count on us for skilled cancer specialists, the most advanced cancer-fighting technology on the island, and a commitment to caring for you or your loved one with compassion, respect, and empathy. Our family, treating your family.
Island Cancer Center, located on Guam Medical Plaza. Visit us at islandcancercenter.com or call 646-3363.
When it comes to power and performance, nothing compares to Dodge. And right now at Cars Plus in Mighty, you can save thousands on many Dodge vehicles in stock during our Dodge Performance Days. Like the new 2019 Grand Caravan SE, save $4,250, or save $6,150 on a new Durango SXT. Looking for more power? Take home a new Charger SXT Plus today for only $37,689, or save over $7 grand on a new Challenger GT. Get more power and performance at Cars Plus in Mighty during Dodge Performance Days. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Nacho Fries Chasing Gold strikes all the right chords. Powerful, gripping, delicious, says The Hollywood Reporter. Critics can't get enough of nacho fries. And if you can't either, get nacho fries at Taco Bell today.
Half a day, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Jason Salas. This is KU News Extra, and I have two friends of mine on the KUM couch right now, and we are talking about the Pacific Circle Consortium, what it is, who it affects, and why it is important for our island right now. We have Jackie here, Martha way over there on the other side of the couch. So I think you're in maybe the upper parts of Dedido, and Jackie, of course, here in Harmon, if you want to separate it geographically that way. So thank you, ladies, for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Okay,
yes.
So when we talk about the Pacific Circle Consortium, which is an incredibly difficult title to say now that I think about it, who all does it affect and why was it formed?
Okay. The Pacific Circle Consortium is actually an organization that is present in many different countries, and so it has members from countries that are across the Pacific, and so every host country gets to host it in their area, and in 2019, Guam put in the bid to host it here because of the 75th liberation or the anniversary for the battle for Guam, and so we decided that it would be a great opportunity for us to share Guam's culture and history with the visitors who are coming from other parts of the Pacific and have a History International Conference.
This is actually pretty good because it's also coming off of the tail end 2 years ago of FestPac, and then more recently with the Guam Micronesia Island Fair.
Yes, yes.
So everyone's used to sharing, and we're aware of each other's parallels in terms of culture and history and heritage and those things.
Yes, yes. And one of the things that we're highlighting is actually World War II history. So the host that is actually the group or organization that's hosting this conference is called Pacific Historic Parks, which is a nonprofit organization that's been around since 1979. And what we do is we partner with National Park Services across the Pacific Islands. So the first group that we partnered with was Pearl Harbor National Memorial, which is in Oahu. And that was the first beginning of telling the story of World War II and the battles. And so over time, the organization grew. So now we have a park site here in Guam called War in the Pacific National Historical Park. And then we also have in Saipan, American Memorial Park. So all across all of these islands, the mission is the same. It's to do World War II education and interpretive programs and to do fund development for restoration, preservation, and research for World War II.
Excellent. So Martha, this sounds like it would be an incredible initiative for young people to get involved with.
Oh yes, definitely. We have this conference that's happening, and we are including presenters from all over the Pacific. We have people from Guam, Hawaii, New Zealand, Australia, Japan, and those are just the presenters. As far as the participants are, we have coming again from Guam and our sister island, Saipan, and just a lot of educators and people, not just even educators, but people who are interested in the sharing or the transference of culture and knowledge in our culture.
If people would like to attend, is there a cost to get involved, or if people would like to come and perhaps share their stories and be able to contribute, maybe they have heirlooms at home that they can say, if you're collecting things or you're talking about restoration and everything like that, I have something I think would be of great value.
Well, Pacific Historic Parks is hosting the conference to have open discussions and discuss education development. For sure, there is a website that we have where people can register online. It's pccguam2019.org, and it provides more information about the breakout sessions, all the presenters, the excursions, because we want our visitors to come and see Guam in addition to being at the conference. Since they're already here, they can go to Chamorro Village, or they can see Valley of the Lati, or do historic Hagåtña tours or World War II sites. So we have a lot lined up for them, and so there's opportunities to discuss and share ideas amongst educators and visitors.
I really encourage them to go onto that website that Jackie mentioned, the Pacific Historic Park, pcc2019.org, and check it out. The theme is connecting past and present,
educating across generations.
Yes.
So
you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, is there a theme for this year?
Yes.
And especially because this year is so significant, with this being the 75th liberation of Guam.
Absolutely. So what we did, it's so broad. It says connecting past and present. It's like, it's history, but then also it could be of science and language art. So we did is we broke it down into 5 sub-themes. And the first is school effective initiatives. The second is World War II reflections of history. The third is globalization and how it affected the Pacific, and how do we teach our youths, given that they're 21st century, right? It's going toward the future. How can we still maintain and honor our past while moving toward the future? We also have themes such as
impact of globalization and transference of traditional knowledge.
So we are encouraging the local population, but also our educators in different subjects to attend.
That transference of traditional knowledge is of particular interest to me, because I grew up, and my generation and my peers, where it was a treat to go to Nana and Tata's house, or to go to Grandma and Grandpa, and to actually sit and have them teach you Guam legends and stories about when they were younger and everything like that. Has that really changed over the years? I would hope not, because those are great memories.
I think the way it is right now, for myself, I'm like you. I learned how to weave from my grandmother and my mom. But I think, yes, for our new generation of students coming up, I don't think they are as blessed to have had that opportunity. So now we are trying to see how can we continue to preserve our culture in the educational system with that. And so we do have some artists and dancers through song, the arts that are going to be there to share how do they plan to continue this transference of their traditional knowledge to our next generation of students.
Let me ask you guys, did your grandparents teach you guys how to make tzitzis when you were young?
No, mine did not. Mine is yours.
That was a key lesson for me.
That was yours?
It was like, okay, is it corn or flour? And depending on how you answer.
They kept me out of the kitchen.
Yeah, you may either stay in the kitchen or you may actually go work with your uncles out on the farm.
But yes, those kinds of things. Cooking, weaving,
exactly.
Hunting, fishing, those kinds of knowledge. And even just dance and song.
Yeah, this sounds like a wonderful opportunity for people.
Really
even for people who feel like they have a solid grasp of who we are with our heritage and what we've been through and everything. Something can be learned by every single Guamanian. So, again, registration is now open, and we hope. I'm quite sure that the seats are filling up.
Yes, and we also are offering for educators who want to do recertification or to keep their certification. There's 2 grad credits that we've partnered with the University of Guam. So if they attend the conference, they can also get graduate credits.
This is a win-win for everybody. All right, well, thank you both. We got to go to commercial break, but happy liberation to you and your families.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and good luck at your conference.
Thanks.
And we will see you right after this break.
A beautiful, healthy smile is an expression of confidence. The more confident you are about your smile, the more likely you are to fully express your feelings without having to worry about the way your teeth look.
Before cosmetic dentistry, I didn't smile as much. I didn't have the confidence, and it shows. And since I've had cosmetic dentistry done, I feel 10 times more confident. I make my initial introduction with a nice big smile and a handshake, and I just feel like it really is a relationship builder, a nice warm smile, and it makes the clients and customers feel more comfortable with you, feeling confident, and they feel that you're not just there for business, that you're also there kind of as a friend as well. So I mean, it's amazing how powerful a smile can be. A good smile.
Since your smile makes a significant impression on those around you, it is important that it makes the impression you want it to make.
It comes only once a week, and you never know what type of brie mix she'll have in store for you.
This, by far, is one of the toughest workouts I have ever done.
From adventures to instructional segments and even an occasional showcase of her hidden talents. In the mix is that weekly dose of fun during the time of the week when you need it most. So take a breather and join Sabrina every Thursday on KUAM TV and streaming anytime on our digital platform. We have some regional headlines for you now. Here are our friends at KSPN2 News in Saipan.
Hafa-Day Guam, here are the headlines for CNMI.
I ask that the Congress declare a state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire.
It was Sunday, June 10, 1944. My brother Mariano and I were preparing to go and visit our military friends, Japanese military friends, to beg for some food because we did not have any food. as we looked up in the skies, there were airplanes crashing, shooting at each other, and we got a little bit nervous and decided we better go back to our ranch before we are killed with all this bombardment. So Barnes and Simon decided that we were going to take refuge at a cave further up from Kanantapla, our ranch. We were in the cave and I was only 12 years old and I did not know what was going on, but Dad knew exactly what was going on. One morning he was looking out southwest and he saw all kinds of ships, all sizes, just covered the western side of Saipan. And so we knew something was happening. And the island was on fire for days and days. As the grass and tree above the cave we were hiding started burning, we began to feel the tremendous heat in the cave. The sun was up, and the ship offshore saw people crawling on the hill, so they started shooting very close to the entrance of the cave where we were living. And thank God we were not harmed by the bombardment or the shot that came from the offshore ships. Three Marines came closer to the cave entrance and yelled in the broken Japanese, "Shinpai naide datakoi," meaning without fear, come out. So my dad immediately jumped out and he says, "I surrender." And he says, "Oh, this is a very emotional part for me. Oh, you speak English?" My dad says, "A little bit, yes, I speak English." And he says, "By any chance, is your name Elias Saban?" He says, "Yes, I'm Elias Saban." And he says, "We've been looking for you because we knew that there were two people that spoke fluent English on Saipan." My eldest brother Ignacio and my dad looked back into the cave, entrance of the cave, and said, "Come out with your hands up because these are good people. They're not going to hurt us." So we all came out innocently with our hands up. My dad said, "Can I ask one of you to follow me down the hill to the ranch where we left some people here 3 weeks ago?" The Marine that took them down the hill came back and said, "They were all liberated a few weeks ago. Nobody died." So we were so happy that none of them, my grandmother was also one of them, that were liberated already.
There is not one thing I have done that has even half the significance of a 19-year-old who came ashore on the 15th of June in Saipan. Uncle Dave, I hope you had a much different feeling today than the first time you heard those jets overhead.
For more news, visit saipantv.com. For KSPN2 News, I'm Ashley McDowell.
Please stay tuned, there's more coming.
community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Moss.
The next generation Galaxy has arrived. See it and believe it. The Infinity O displays the most innovative Galaxy screen yet. Capture the wider world. Take stunning photos with a 123-degree field of vision. Use your phone to charge other wireless charging devices. Don't just stand out, stand apart.
MTO, professional janitorial services with a warm hospitality touch. MTO gives that gift year-round. Pressure wash roofs, pressure wash driveways, lawn service, home cleaning, carpet restoration, office cleaning, commercial window cleaning, floor care. When cleaning is in order, MTO has you covered. Call 647-6861 to inquire on how you can receive the maintenance you deserve.
MTO, celebrating 30 years with you, Guam.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Hi everybody, House to Home is coming at you right now, and I have a gift for you, something to present. An offer, if I may, of knowledge, and that's why we're here today. Information is the world's most valuable commodity, and I have Liz and Gina, the world's two most awesomest.
Yeah, that works.
Real estate professionals?
We'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put that on your business card right now. Okay, well, offer is the word right now, and I know everybody says, do you make an offer on this property, and exactly what does that mean? Because if people come from, traditional, if you're a lawyer and you think of negotiating, or if you're a business person and you think, can we make this deal happen and everything, there's a lot of back and forth, and there's a lot of, almost cat and mouse, if you will, and everything like that. But within the scope of making an offer on a house, is that more like a traditional bid, like in an auction sense, or are you actually negotiating?
Well, when you're submitting an offer, there's always an asking price, right? So let's say, for example, someone is asking $400,000. So you like the house and you want to submit an offer. Now, one of the things as a professional, we'll tell you, you'll ask us, well, what should I do? Some people want to do a lowball offer, and if they're asking $400,000, they'll want to offer $350,000.
That's the German approach. The
they
German auction is to start low and go up.
So what That's a buyer, the common approach. Yeah. So, but what the buyer should be aware of, is it a buyer's market or seller's market? And what is the market value for that home? Is it really worth $400,000? So as a professional, we would say, well, let me do a market analysis to give you an idea what a similar type home in that neighborhood has been selling. Now, if you come back and say, I'm insistent, I want to offer $350,000, our job is to write up the offer and present it. But at the same time, my responsibility to you as a professional is to say, Jason, I'll write it up, but you just need to know this is not the market value right now. The market value is within a certain window of price. And if you're insistent, of course, we have to present it. But we're not doing our job if we don't advise you properly. So if you really
in which case, I'm just wasting yours and my time.
Right, but at the same it's time, more about your time. Yeah, your time. And if you submitted the offer, you really liked it, and you submitted it, and somebody else beat you to the punch, then what? Gina and I have gone through this. It's a regular process for us.
Okay, Gina, I want to ask you something. I do just want to correct myself, because the German style of auctioning, I just thought about that, is you start high and you actually go low. It's the reverse of the American style. But when somebody is making an offer, there's a strategy to it, right? Because obviously you don't want to spend more money than you have to, but then you also want to be competitive to whoever else may be bidding on that. And it's kind of like a blind bidding process, right? Because you have no idea. There may be someone else bidding. There may be 25 different people bidding.
We cannot control who looks at the property and when they make an offer. And an offer is always, in real estate, it's always in writing, okay? Because some of our customers think we could just call and say, well, I'm thinking about this price, could you check? There are some rare occasions where I'll call and say, hey, if we came in at this price, is it a waste of time or is it going to work? And I find that when we're in this negotiating mode, I always tell people, make sure you put something in writing, because as Liz said, while you're trying to negotiate, somebody else beat you to the punch.
Exactly.
So in negotiating, what's the strategy?
So there's time and there's value.
There's time and value, but you were asking about strategy. Well, here's the strategy.
if your realtor has already given you market data, so you know this property is priced well, and you still are trying to negotiate, what you need to understand is, from what angle are you negotiating? If you already know there's several people that are looking at the property already, and you're trying to negotiate price because, okay, you know the market value is there, but you want a better deal. What's going to happen if somebody else put in an offer that's higher than yours because they looked at the market value and they said, okay, you know what, you're right. This home is priced well. Let me go ahead and just give the seller what they want. But on your side, you're trying to get a better deal, so you put in an offer at lower amount. What's going to happen? The seller's going to take the highest offer on the table or the best offer on the table. Yes. Which isn't necessarily the highest amount.
Right, the best overall value. Because is this a family with local roots that's going to be here for a very long time? And do they have have they gotten in trouble with the law, things like that?
No, but usually in an
most
offer,
sellers don't. Most sellers don't ask for that. Like I have an owner who very recently told me, Gina, I want to get the best price I can, but I'm also looking for a family who's going to love my home. That's 1 out of 10 people. Most people just want the highest amount they can get. Right. And when I say the best, sometimes it isn't about the amount, it's about the terms. Like if someone is offering cash, that cash amount may be a little bit lower than a buyer getting financing, but it's solid. And
it's a quicker process to get the deal done. So if someone wanted, it could be $5,000 less, but the terms and conditions. So cash versus a loan that takes 60 days, and then you have a cash offer. So a seller will evaluate what the terms are. So if this offer looks better, they may take that. Now, we have had buyers that complain, hey, I gave you full price, but they've got to remember that it's up to the seller. We as agents don't make the decision. The seller makes the decision which offer they accept. And if the cash is more solid, then they have a tendency to accept that. Or maybe the other family, like Gina says, rare occasions, that they're after the type of buyer that's going to love the home.
Okay, final question before we go, and we got to get to this real quick. But if my wife and my kids tell me that, hey, you found this house, we really, really want this. By the way, my wife and kids totally don't exist. And they say, we want this house. You have to get this for us and everything. So tactically, do I have to make my very best offer as the first one?
We always say, or
do I play around and play the game?
I always tell the buyers, if you really like this, if you lost it, for example, for like, let's say $5,000, if you lost this home and you made your best offer and you walked away and you found out you lost it for $5,000, that you could have made that offer, how would you feel? So if this is the home for you and it feels right, you gotta give it your best shot.
Okay. And Jason, keep in mind, value isn't about the price. Value is what you are willing to pay for that house. It could be higher than what the owner is asking. Because that's what it's worth to you.
It's not just thinking about with your pocketbook, it's also your mind and your heart.
Exactly. That's absolutely right, because you're going to call it home at the end of the day. What is that worth to you?
Exactly. Well, I have an offer for you guys. You guys want to go get some coffee?
Yeah,
okay. Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, I'm speaking of paying with my pocketbook. Evidently, I'm treating, so we are going to head out, but we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Let's go.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world. This primetime lineup is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world.